is way too much damage. Stop him with the block! He fell Churchill!
Oh, and he found
wow.
Wow.
Oh, what?
He gets out!
Somewhere there's a covert muffin just applauding this scene.
Holy crap.
Oh man, this is gonna come down to execution in the final escape, isn't it?
Sure is.
Every scene
Our
does.
favorite phrase.
Hello, SpeedGaming fans, and welcome to the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer Tournament 2021. We are in the preliminaries. My name is Jay Halcyon. I'm joined today by Athos.
Hello everyone, yes indeed, we're playing the preliminaries this week, and yes, we're gonna have another week of preliminaries. It is not over yet. After we're done with this week, we're gonna keep on with the matches until August 1st, when we'll start the bracket stage. What do you think of this matchup, Hal?
I'm honestly really excited to see these two play. Fluffy and Romulus are both great randomizer players, and this should be a great matchup. What do you think about it yourself, Athos?
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be pretty interesting. I mean, actually, the first randomizer I've ever played, Fluffy was guiding me through this, and this was years ago. So he's been playing plenty of randomizer. He's a very experienced player. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages to play here.
Yeah, and for his part, Rom's been playing Ori for about 4 years, and very recently got into the randomizer. So very interesting setup we've got today.
Yeah, we actually asked the runner some questions before the match, and I'll go over some of the answers that Fluffy gave me. He told us that he will follow the Fluffy way in this game, and then he invented the Fluffy way, and essentially what he told us is that the Fluffy way is varying degrees of going deep in Blackroot Barrows and the right side of the map before going left. And another fun fact about Fluffy is he actually got third in the first randomizer tourney. So again, he's not only not new and experienced in the randomizer, but he's also experienced in tournaments.
Yeah, though that Fluffy way, if he gets himself stuck too far into Blackroot in the right side, he could find himself behind going left if Romulus finds something good and gets going.
That's right, and another thing we should probably mention is the varying input methods. We do have Fluffy playing on controller, which is inferior in some specific ways. Specifically, if we get a bash grenade seed. And we actually know that Romulus does want a bash grenade seed, don't we, Hal?
Yeah, he actually told us he really enjoys bash grenade seeds. The ability to get to just about anywhere is something he enjoys, especially if he finds dash. Really, both of the bash and dash are his favorite skills to find.
Yeah, and he was making jokes about how he likes the 4 green letters. It's his favorite thing in the randomizer. Dash and bash, and the excitement you get when you finally find them in some place.
Very much so. All right, it looks like we will be getting going here in just a moment. For those unfamiliar with the randomizer, this is not quite our normal Ori and the Blind Forest game. We've taken all of the pickups and shuffled them around in such a way that you can still complete the game. Our runners will have to visit all of the skill locations, which you can see on the trackers below each screen. Romulus on the left, Fluffy on the right. And what else do they need to do, Athos?
So yeah, they're going to be going around, and the location of each pickup is actually the same, but what's inside the pickup is exactly what gets randomized. So they have to go pick it up before they actually find out. This is a Metroidvania, which means that they need to collect skills in order to reach new areas. And they actually already collected a skill. It's called Climb. What can we do with Climb, Hal?
Well, we can do about what it sounds like. We can climb up walls. Usually in the game, you get this long after you've found wall jump, so new players to the randomizer will find that climb only acts a little bit strange.
Yeah, so something that we take for granted in Ori, being able to push off of walls and get to different places, is actually like something we always do because we have wall jump, the first skill at the beginning of the game. But climb doesn't actually allow us to do that, so it can be quite difficult. The runners would have to do difficult ramps in order to get to certain places that would be trivialized by an earlier skill like wall jump.
Yeah, and that second pickup, both runners finding just some experience. Nice to have an early level up, especially as we've gotten climb early. That'll give them a ability point to spend getting into Blackroot Burrows. Now we'll see our runners using a hotkey specific to the randomizer. If you press Alt-R, it emulates the save and quit functionality that was found in other randomizers to return you to spawn.
That's right, and we're actually seeing a small divergence already in the play. Looks like Romulus is going to opt to go into Glades and collect the 2 Keystone pickups, while Fluffy is going immediately into Blackroot. What do you think of these plays, Hal?
Well, since Fluffy has the ability to get into Blackroot and get most of the pickups there, I really like this play. It is a little bit aggressive. He could have fallen behind if Romulus had found something in those 2 or 3 pickups as he dives into the water and, takes a death. Decides to run back, it looks like, toward Blackroot Burrows. Meanwhile, on our right, Fluffy's working his way through, dropping at safety save. If he falls into these spikes, he's dead, so good time to do that.
That's right, you can lose a lot of time in BRB, and actually here's an interesting play. Fluffy is going to go the so-called casual way around here. This place is quite dangerous. There's a bunch of slimes and spiders shooting at us. And the reason he's doing this is there's one pickup that is very difficult to get with climb, as I alluded previously. So hopefully he gets through this no problem. This loses about 20 seconds. But
yeah, and
it's still much better than not getting the pickup and then getting completely rendered.
Yeah, and if Romulus were to get that climb ramp right away, he could gain some time back, especially having already gotten some of those pickups over towards Glades anyway. But Fluffy has made it across without getting knocked down by the spiders and gets his reward, a keystone.
Yes. Very nicely done there by Fluffy. It is really not that easy to get, especially since you have to carry this orb, which slows you down and makes it really difficult to traverse the area. Looks like Rom is actually not going to go for that route. He looks like he's going to try for this climb ramp. He has to climb at a specific area and then jump to the other side. He's attempting it now, and didn't quite make it the first time there.
Yeah, and this is that difficulty that we talk about with this. It's, especially once you get over to that left side, it can almost sometimes seem like you can't make any progress if you screw up. But he got it.
Yeah, very well done. I don't know how long it took him exactly, but it wasn't immediate, so I'd say they about broke even with those 2 routes.
Yeah, definitely. So they've still got just 1 keystone, so we'll see our runners continuing into Blackroot. They still can't get into the left area of Glades. Oh, there we go. Fluffy found himself a 2nd keystone, but looks like he's going to finish out Blackroot before he heads to the left.
That's right. Of course, Blackroot is going to be the first tree here, and trees are really important in this goal mode clues. Do you want to tell us about clues a little bit, Hal?
Yeah, sure. Athos, thank you. So in Ori and the Blind Forest, we have certain key items that get us into dungeons. The Water Vein, the Gumon Seal, and the Sunstone. We need to get into both the Ginso tree, which has the Water Vein as its key, and Mount Horu, which has the Sunstone as its key, at some point to finish this randomizer. And so, in order to keep it from being completely random, the developers put some clues into the game. Athos, when did they get those clues?
Yeah, so you get the clues once you collected 3, 6, and 9 trees, so you never know which clue you're gonna get. So you can get a clue for the Gumon Seal, for example, when you reach 3 trees, which usually is not very useful. But then when you reach 6 and 9, you're guaranteed to get a clue for the Water Vein and the Sunstone at some point. And so you'll see the runners, they do want to finish trees, first of all, because they have to get all the trees to finish the seed, and second of all, to get the clues and know where to search for those vital keys.
Yeah, and we see here Fluffy has did a little bit of a cutscene skip here in the laser room that Romulus is working his way through and is now riding these platforms back up. He wanted to keep that keystone he found down in the lower area and decided rather than using the Altar to return to spawn to just jump back up, ride these platforms back up. They're about the same amount of time, but it can just feel really slow to do that.
Yeah, so I would think Fluffy might want to continue down into the so-called Raziel Noah area and collect a few pickups there. We'll see if Romulus decides to do the same. Actually, Romulus is attempting a pretty difficult trick here. He's going to ride on top of those crushers and, gets through first try. Very nicely done. Fluffy is doing the same on the right side.
Yeah, Romulus doing that in the background while letting a cutscene play out. Fluffy doing it with nice lighting and everything. And now Fluffy's going to glitch this lever and take an intentional death. And that will open that door without him having to race through here since he doesn't have dash.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Rom is going to go get this keystone. Let's see what he decides to do. Oh, he does decide to altar. I wonder if he's going to go left into Glades.
Yeah, it could be. We have a concept in the randomizer known as the logic. Basically, the idea being these are the pickups that the randomizer expects you to be able to get. It's a way for the randomizer to make sure that it's always completable. The pickups that Fluffy is going for right now, that he's getting through to, are not what is considered in logic. So he's not expected to be able to get these.
Yeah, and Fluffy did a really difficult trick right now, as you can see in the replay on the bottom right. He jumped on top of a tiny, tiny ledge right there, and then using that ledge, he was able to jump on the other side with Climb. Very, very nicely done, knowing how to get on that micro ledge. And this will allow him to get a few pickups. Looks like Romulus on the left is actually going down here too, so maybe he'll attempt this trick as well.
Yeah, it's very common for runners to come down here and check these few pickups. They want to use that save anywhere that we saw Fluffy use to glitch this boulder out, not only because it lets them get past, as Fluffy finds extra double jump here. Not useful yet, he doesn't have double jump, but when he gets it, he'll have triple jump right away.
That's right, and beautiful by Romulus, getting that ramp really quickly as well. Both runners doing a great job showcasing their skill here, and also using that SA to be able to get down here. Meanwhile, Fluffy is done with this area, and I expect him to head left to Glades and use those keystones. Maybe Hallie could explain us how keystones work.
Yeah, keystones are a pickup that is present in the vanilla version of the game, of course. They allow us to open these doors that we'll see Fluffy coming up to on the left or on the right screen shortly. This first one takes 2 keys, others take 4. He has, you can see up in the upper right-hand corner of each player's screen, Fluffy right now has 4 keys. He's going to use 2 of those to open this door.
Yep, and I just want to talk about this difference in time that the runners are currently at in this stage of the game. And it looks like Fluffy's decision to Blackroot is really the major difference between, and due to his small lead, of course anything can happen in a randomizer, but his lead is entirely on the decision to go into BRB first. And I thought that was a really, really nice play, and the aggressive play definitely paid off. Ooh, and that's a Valley teleport. That could be huge.
Yeah, that's the teleporters. Activating them is a pickup that you can get in the game in the randomizer, and the Valley TP is one way to get onto the left side of the map. Now, we'll expect to see Romulus pick this up as well. Romulus did get 1 check coming through here in this area with that first keystone door that Fluffy didn't check, that underwater pickup. It's not in the logic, but sometimes it can be very powerful to get that. Athos, what was that under the water? Do you recall?
I believe it was a mapstone. Mapstones are pretty interesting pickups in this game. Essentially, you're supposed to, once you get it, you're supposed to submit them to a so-called map altar, which are located around the game. And once you put it in a map altar, you get some other random pickups. So it's a sort of fetch quest.
Ooh,
That's actually Bash.
Yeah, Fluffy finding Bash in Spirit Caverns. This is amazing for him here. That's going to catapult him a little bit further ahead. And the Grotto teleporter, that's even better.
Yeah, Grotto is a great place in Randomizer. I think you're always happy when you're able to get to Grotto. It has a lot of pickups, and it has the Vital Tree that we always need. I think FluffyPrower will opt to go down to the Wall Jump Tree and get that out of the way first, though.
Yeah, I would expect that here. It's a good time to do it. We did see him skip a potential pickup he could have grabbed there, that ability cell we see on Romulus's screen. He could have gotten with that Bash pickup, but either forgot about it or decided not to.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes into play later. And actually, Fluffy, just submitting a mapstone, it's nothing. And Rom, being happy he found Bash, he told us about the 4-letter skills. And ooh, looks like Rom didn't grab that skill either, so maybe we won't know what it is after all.
Well, I can hope for both their sakes that it's not anything to make them go fast.
Yeah, well, at least they have Bash, so in the early stage of the game, they should be able to traverse a bunch of areas, and I'm sure they're both excited to do that. Romulus trailing close behind again, he's going to pick up that mapstone and turn it in. Meanwhile, Fluffy, once again, heading to Wall Jump Tree. Actually, Hal, you know, it's always when you get one of these really strong skills, I always start to wonder, well, where do we go next? Looks like so many things are available. Where do you think you would go next?
You know, with Bash and the Grotto teleporter and Climb, I'm probably thinking I would head down into Moon Grotto from that Grotto teleporter. We'll see what our runners decide to do, but that'd be a strong option. Moon Grotto has a lot of pickups in very high density.
Definitely. One thing to note is Moon Grotto does have a lot of plants, and these plants are pickups in the randomizer, and to break them, you need certain skills that runners do not currently possess, so we'll see if that currently comes into play in the routing. Meanwhile, Fluffy did just make it to the Wall Jump Tree. He's going to climb and get this one pickup, and then altar, and we'll see where he decides to go next.
Yeah, he's got no real ability to move out. Oh, I suppose he does have 4 keystones. He could go up through the top door of Spirit Caverns. There's a couple more pickups he could check in Glades with Bash. Looks like he's going to go swimming here and check that one, find that map stone.
Yep, great. Mapstones can be very valuable to collect later because the keys, the clues that you can get for the keys, one of the possible clues is actually that the key is on the mapstone. And in that case, you start scrambling and thinking, oh, where are all the mapstones? Did I leave any behind? So we'll see if this comes into play this seed. But yeah, it's always nice to keep the mapstones for later in case that does happen.
Yeah, and we see here Fluffy deciding to make that play into Moon Grotto. On our left-hand side, we see Romulus actually kiting this Frankie along. What's he going for with that, Athos?
Yeah, so there's this one pickup. We call this a Frankie walk, and we call this a Frankie, by the way, because they're like a frog monkey clone, I suppose. They jump around. And yeah, so he's going to use bash, and maybe even the double bash technique, which allows Rom to bash the Frankie and then follow it as it's flying in the air. 1 bash, 2 bash, and 3. Very well done. He gets the pickup, and it's just experience.
Yeah, so Fluffy not going to be hurting from missing that. Fluffy, for his part, moving into the Death Gauntlet area of Moon Grotto. We call it this because of its unfortunate tendency to end speedruns, but it can be just as deadly in Randomizer.
Actually, we just got note from our truck that Rom does not have Grotto TP yet, so it looks like that might actually be a problem for him. He cannot do the play that Fluffy is currently doing, so he's going to be trying to look around in Glades a little more, perhaps.
He did, however, find the Grove Teleporter. That's just past that top keystone door in Spirit Cavern, so he could use that to save himself 4 keystones and still get to the Charge Flame tree. And it looks like he's heading down toward the teleporter now.
So there's also a long cutscene right there to where Romulus is going on the left, so we'll see if he decides to skip that. Meanwhile, Fluffy actually executing a save anywhere trick once again to skip the Ori falling animation and instead being able to check a few pickups right there, so he's going to get that and probably head down deeper into Grotto. Rom, meanwhile, is going to actually maybe go into Spirit Caverns in reverse. Of course, this is a feature added into 3.0 Randomizer.
Yeah, opening that door from the top is an interesting play to be sure. Let's see if he remembers. Yep, he's remembered that keystone here. That pickup is where we saw Fluffy earlier get Grotto Teleporter. And, oh, taking a death and going back to that teleport, but he knows it's there now.
Yeah, so I'm sure he will follow into Grotto. I'm really glad for his sake that he did get it. I'm sure that being able to open up all those options in Grotto will be quite helpful this seed. And yeah, I'm sure he'll head down there right and follow Fluffy.
Yeah, Fluffy now moving into this low Grotto vault area. He's only got 1 energy, so he can't open that door directly, but he can, if he's clever about it, use a couple of tricks to get through those lasers anyway. Finding some XP, deciding it's not worth it the time it'll take him to get out, and opening up here, yeah, the Save Anywhere menu. Now, this is a really tricky ramp if you're trying to do it with just climb, so I'm not surprised to see him ult-R.
Yeah, so this is quite difficult with climb once again, all these ramping issues coming into play. Very difficult indeed, and looks like he'll be going for the Frankie walk as well. I like this play. If that skill is of course in logic, so if anything happens, we want to make sure we get that out of the way as soon as possible.
Yeah, and Fluffy making some interesting choices here. We did see him leave behind a mapstone inside the poison water in Grotto as well. So if we do see a mapstone clue later on, he knows where to find one, but it's not in his inventory.
Yeah, and Rom is actually going to go and get another tree. It looks like this might be our first clue. Oh no, he did take a death, but this is a pretty short walk, so not a big deal.
Yep, and Fluffy looks like heading back into Moon Grotto. We'll see where he decides to go from there. Rom, oh, double bashing this Frankie up. I like this play. That's a pickup that is commonly forgotten about. It's not quite in logic with the skills he's got, but it's always nice to check it earlier.
Yeah, so this is Wind Restored, one of the events. So right now, Wind Restored doesn't actually do anything. You need Glide, but essentially it turns on these wind currents around the map and allows players to glide up there if they have the skill. We'll see if that comes into play and if any of the competitors find Glide anywhere.
Yeah, also, I missed when it happened, but Romulus did find a second energy cell, and that second energy can be a big help.
Yeah, one thing to note. Ooh, Gumon Seal and Horus. So it is a Gumon Seal clue at first. This doesn't tell the runners very much because Forlorn is what is opened by Gumon Seal, and the runners never really want to go to Forlorn. There's no tree there. It doesn't really give that much. The pickups are fairly sparse, so it looks like the runners will have to wait for further clues to find out where the Water Vein and the Sunstone are.
Yeah, that said, Fluffy did find the Forlorn teleporter on his way down here to this Grotto mini-boss. So if he sees that Gumon Seal clue and decides that he wants to go to Forlorn anyway, he can do it without having to walk.
That's right, and looks like he's disposing of this mini-boss using Bash on the right. Well done. He's going to get this keystone. Fluffy doesn't want to leave anything behind. And yeah, Rom is also down in Grotto. They're just getting all the pickups and investigating down here, trying to get any sort of progression. Is there any progression you would actually want to see or expect here, Hal?
Well, of course, Rom has said that he would really like to see Grenade here. Grenade combined with Bash basically lets you bash wherever you want to as long as you can stand on the ground somewhere. Fluffy probably would like to see something like Charge Jump, Stomp, some sort of power skill. There's Wall Jump. That'll make moving around a little bit easier.
Yeah, so all these issues we had with having to ramp everywhere, that's all gone. Wall Jump can be easily used to traverse these areas, and Climb is still helpful because it actually allows you to traverse and go up walls a little bit faster. So, ooh, Fluffy doing a bit of a complex double bash chain to get this one pickup, I like that. And it looks like it's still just experience. No progression quite yet, but I'm sure they will stumble upon it pretty soon.
Yeah, we've got Romulus just kind of following in Fluffy's footsteps into that left grotto area, just trying to figure out what he can find. Fluffy going to be heading down to that double jump tree soon, getting his clue, since he skipped over that charge flame tree earlier.
One important thing we should probably note is that not only skills are not the only thing we're actually looking for. You correctly mentioned that it's big that Romulus got an extra energy, but we have this concept of resources, and we're talking about health cells, energy cells, keystones, and so on. And these resources are also vital for completing the game. If you don't have enough health late in the game, then spikes will one-shot you, and it makes moving around extremely dangerous. Also, since the water is still dirty, they would take damage in the final escape, so they need to make sure to get more health than they currently have, get as much energy as possible, and that will make the run significantly easier.
Yeah, and Romulus now finding that Forlorn teleporter, circling it with his mouse. Looks like he's gonna keep it, climb back out, not gonna go in after that mini-boss, so he's not gonna get that attack upgrade that Fluffy found. Athos, can you tell me a little bit about that attack upgrade? It doesn't seem like something that you'd find in normal Ori.
Yeah, so in Randomizer we did add some bonus upgrades, and there's actually a few more crazy modes that aren't competitive that add stuff like skill velocities and other really crazy stuff. We don't have that here, but we do have a few upgrades, and one of them is attack upgrade. It makes attacks such as the Sign attack a lot stronger, dealing more damage and such. It doesn't provide a huge boost, but it can be helpful in clearing out enemies a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and we see Fluffy's actually going for a lot of keystones here. Having put in 3 of the 9 so far. Interesting choice considering that he doesn't have any indication that something's on a mapstone just yet.
Yeah, I think maybe this is part of this Fluffy way. He wants to be really thorough. He wants to make sure that he doesn't get randoed. And I think getting randoed by mapstones is a very, very common way to do so. And yeah, we see FluffyPrower checking even more stuff over here with this frog double bash.
Yeah, unfortunately, Romulus taking an unfortunate chain of deaths here, getting down to this grotto mini-boss. He did decide to go... Oh, and Fluffy found the water vein in that lower grotto area, so that's a big find.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. I don't think he can quite go into Ginzo yet. It's a very, very, very vertical dungeon, so it would be really difficult for him to get up there with just those skills. But maybe if he gets something else, he can go to the Ginzo tree, which will actually... It's a tree inside a tree, so there's a tree that the runners must get there. And there's also a very dense pickup area right after it, so I'm sure Fluffy will be very, very happy about that.
Yeah, and on the right now we're... through the laser while reloading the game. Looks like he's doing it in a zombie fashion, so he's going to have no health, but just fine.
And gets through it. Very well done. This is not trivial. It's also possible to just get into a sort of death loop if you get it wrong. So Fluffy getting it right, and he's going to be able to check those 2 pickups. We get... Is that 2 more mapstones over there?
That is 2 more mapstones. Well, as much as he's liked plugging those in, he's now got enough to get himself up to 5.
Yeah, this is a very mapstone-heavy seed, I guess. We'll see if this comes into play once again. We don't actually know what the runners will get once they turn them into the altars. But yeah, let's see where Fluffy decides to go now. I think he's cleared most of Grotto, but maybe there's a few areas he wants to make sure that he gathers.
Yeah, he's gotten just about everything below that bridge. Looks like he's heading upward now, toward the swamp area. We'll see if he heads right with the spider. No, it looks like he's... Oh, he's gonna double bash this spider shot in to get this pickup. What does he find? Just some XP.
That was a really tricky combo. Well done, though, checking that. Even if though it wasn't anything this time, that was a very high skill maneuver. And we'll see Fluffy then going to the left. There's a few pickups here. And yeah, where is progression is what I want to know right now.
Yeah, they've got access to quite a bit of the map here between the Valley Teleporter, allowing them access to the left side of the map. With Bash, I believe even breaking the Kuro rocks might be in logic here.
Yeah, what's crazy is there might be even more backtracking in store for us. If they get any sort of blue breakage, again, they can go back to Grotto and check all these plants that they haven't been able to gather. So we'll see what type of progression we're looking for. There could be multiple things that they can get. And actually, Fluffy's finally deciding to leave Grotto on the right and go into the swamp loop. Is he going to go for the swamp entry trick over here?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. He's double bashing this frog over. A little bit harder when you can't air dash to keep up with it. He looks like he has 0 health there. He found a health regeneration pickup a little bit earlier, so he was actually on just a small, tiny fraction of health.
Oh no, and that shot phasing right through. Of course, frogs are magical beings who are capable of doing such things. And there we go. Fluffy needs to bait another shot. He's going to double bash it once, twice, and break that barrier above, and he gets it. Nice, he broke into swamp.
Yeah, that's a very difficult trick, and putting in that 4th map stone now and getting Spirit Light efficiency, so that's going to double all of the experience he finds for the rest of the game.
Yes, indeed, and that's a pretty good upgrade. Again, having experience allows more abilities, and having more abilities means you can do more save anywhere to skip cutscenes, and another trick called Zombie Ori that Fluffy showcased when doing the save drop. Also, it allows them to get such skills as Sense or maybe Charge Dash if they ever do find Dash. So yeah, very nice pickup from Fluffy.
Oh no, Fluffy taking a death there and going back to before his swamp entry, so he's going to have to do this again.
Yes, look at his health and energy. Fluffy hasn't found a single health or energy set. This is so
Ooh,
brutal at this stage.
Again.
Yeah, this is so difficult for Fluffy. He has very little health and very little energy, but he is managing to get pretty far with it, so I really hope that he doesn't take too many deaths here. This is very, very difficult. The seed does not want to give him any resources whatsoever. Except mapstones, of course. He got plenty of that.
Yeah, plenty of mapstones, a fair bit of XP, and a lot of keystones. Is that 8 keystones I see up there, or is that 6?
I'm not quite sure, but regardless, it is definitely a good, healthy amount of keystones. Of course, the maximum door is a 4 keystone door, so he should be able to open whatever he wants, and he might also be able to duplicate them if he ever needs to. And looks like Fluffy is going to abandon all that swamp entry shenanigans and head right there. Oh, it looks like he did not quite skip the cutscene. I'm not even sure if he had the energy there, but that will cause this door to shut down and make his backtracking a little slower.
Yeah, and on the left we see Rom unfortunately getting infinited by those crushers a little bit more, now breaking off and going to check some other pickups with that wall jump. This is a very obnoxious one to do with just wall jump. Thankfully he has bash, so he can just bash off these slimes, get to the top, and find his reward and ability cell.
Not quite what he was looking for, unfortunately, but well done grabbing that. Of course, Rom did tell us that he might get nervous this race. I'm not sure he had much tournament experience, so this is quite expected. Still, he's going to get a few checks here, and hopefully he can find what he's looking for soon.
Yeah, altaring out. Let's see where he goes next. On the right, Fluffy nailing that very precise jump to get himself up to where the Genso tree is. Again, he can't really climb the Genso tree just yet. He doesn't have enough skills that let him move up. But he does have the water vein. He looks like he's going to plug it in and leave the door open for later.
Yep, that does sound right. And and he's not even going to enter it. He knows what's inside. He's been in there plenty of times. He's just going to watch this cutscene right here. And again, actually him not having energy means that he can't really skip any of these cutscenes. And oh, it looks like Rom is actually going to make a play in Valley. What do you think of this, Hal?
Yeah, I like this play, especially if he's feeling nervous or maybe like he's behind. Taking a big risk like this, going into Valley. He's got Bash. Bash is going to let him move around somewhat reasonably over here, but not a lot of health. Look how much damage those spikes did.
Yeah, spikes here start doing 3 damage. Of course, this is the left side of the map. You're not supposed to be here until later in the game, so the game expects you to have more health. So this is going to be quite tricky by Rom. The water is still poisonous, so he's not going to be able to get that underwater pickup quite yet. We'll see what he opts to do. Looks like he's going to decide to go up, and oh, spikes dealing damage once again. This is so brutal.
Yeah, he's got to bait this bird down and then bash off of it. There he managed to bash off of its corpse as it was still floating there, but he needs more than one bash.
Yeah, he's going to have to activate this double bash chain, but whenever he baits the bird and it dies to the spikes, oh, he got it, and no, takes another death to that bird.
Yeah, and while Rom is working away at this on the left-hand side, we've got Fluffy continuing to clear out this right-hand side, going for those map altars, getting himself a keystone on the 5th map.
Yeah, Fluffy's going to have plenty of pickups to check here, and I'm afraid that unless this play from Romulus turns out to give him something big, that might be a little bit too much time wasted, but we will see. Of course, this is extremely difficult with this amount of resources, so he's doing a pretty good job with what he has right now.
Yeah, moving through this area, again, this is an area that does expect you to have bash, but with so little health, any mistake can kill him instantly and send him back to his last save, and he doesn't have a lot of energy to work with.
Yeah, little energy, little health, desperate to find any progression, both of our runners. Here, Fluffy on the right is going to bait this Baneling, try to break the floor, gets it nicely, and he's going to get a pickup check right here.
Yeah, and on the left we have Romulus going for a trick called Fast Stompless here. He's gonna bait this spider to take a shot at him, move and bash at a precise angle to try and send that shot off to the left to break a rock above Kuro's head and get that feather pickup. But looks like he's having a little bit of trouble moving through the spiky area.
Yeah, in a category like all skills, where you have a bunch of skills at this point, much more than what Romulus has, this is considered a really difficult trick. But he has almost nothing but bash. He has to take that damage boot almost, and it's really difficult to get out. He has to get far enough away to despawn these rocks without dying, and he gets it now. We'll see if the shot hits.
Yeah, he's going to try and double bash up here, maybe get to this ability cell. He does make it, but it's been too long. The shot must have missed.
Yeah, the setup is quite difficult for Fast Stompless. It's extremely precise. You have to hit the rocks in the exact correct area and also be able to get far enough away. And with this skill set, of course, it's quite difficult to do.
Yeah, on the right, Fluffy making his own difficult adventure here, heading into this spider sack area from the bottom with, again, just bash, wall jump, and climb. And oh no, he killed the spider. That level up killed the spider that he needed to climb back out. So he's going to take an Alt-R here and perhaps run back in the long way.
Yeah, Hal, can you think of any maybe one-off pickups that are possibly in logic? Oh, and it's the forlorn play from Fluffy, teleporting on the right.
You know, I keep coming back in my mind to that ability cell in Spirit Caverns that both of our players skipped. I wonder what it could be.
Oh, that's right. Of course, early in the game in Spirit Caverns, that pickup was missed by both players, so we don't even know what it is. It might be progression, it might be just nothing. We do not know yet. We'll see if any of the runners remember and decide to check it. But Fluffy on the right is going to Forlorn, which is also an extremely late area in this game. And of course, everything does a ton of damage. There's a bunch of spooky lasers. We'll see if he finds anything.
Yeah, Forlorn, thankfully, is pretty navigatable with low skills because it relies so much on this orb-carrying gravity-switching mechanic. Rom, for his part, opening the map. When a rando runner opens the map, Athos, what does that usually indicate for what they're thinking?
When I open the map in rando is, what the heck can I even get at this point in the game? It means that the seed has been difficult, and he does remember, looks like Rom saw that one ability cell. He's gonna grab it, and we'll see if it's anything important. In just a second, and it's just experience. Oh no.
So again, going back to that map, looking, seeing what have I missed? What did I not pick up that I needed to? Fluffy on the right, moving through Forlorn, not finding anything of interest so far.
That's right, and looks like Mega Health, that's another extra upgrade, extra bonus that we have in the randomizer. It gives a lot of temporary health, so at least that might help Fluffy a little bit temporarily in this heavy damage Forlorn area. He's going to try to check a pickup here, using that extra health to get to it and damage boost. Looks like it's nothing, so he's going to die, and he's going to spawn in the beginning of Forlorn because warps and stuff.
Yeah, and one thing to note here with this play to Forlorn, because we know that the Gumon Seal is in Mount Horu, there's not a huge chance of there being progression in the Forlorn area. Fluffy continuing this play, though, moving out into the front of Forlorn. He's going to try and climb up and get these 3 last pickups before he heads back to the right side of the map and keeps digging.
Yeah, and Fluffy there very nicely using climb and wall jump in conjunction to get up there. And meanwhile, Rom is going to return to Grotto once more. What has he missed, he's thinking? Maybe there's still a pickup or two here, but I don't think there's anything left in Grotto for him.
Yeah, he never did finish that mini-boss fight, so he's going back for that. Really, really digging in, trying to look for those one-offs that might be something that he needs.
That's right, and we'll see what Fluffy decides to do. Looks like Forlorn is not an option anymore, so what is there left? Fluffy thinks maybe Swamp, maybe Grotto. Maybe Grotto it is. So both runners are going to be in Grotto. Of course we know that Rom will find an attack upgrade here, but let's see what Fluffy has in mind with this.
Yeah, and then we'll also see where Rom decides to go. Fluffy saving, getting an energy and health refill, considering the kind of resources he has right now. I like that play. Just take a few seconds, breathe, get some resources.
Yep, and looks like this is another area that the runners haven't checked. There's a Cecily plant, I think the pickup is called, and then up here we have this one experience, and it's experience on experience, unfortunately. And there's not much more that they can check here, so Fluffy's going to back out and search somewhere else. Ooh, is Rom going to go for a Frankiwak here, you think, Hal?
You know, he could. Let's see what he does here. That might just be a play to the map altar. Yeah, it looks like he's going to plug in a map stone. And unfortunately for him, we know that there isn't anything particularly interesting on these map stones, at least up until 6.
Yeah, Fluffy, of course, is giving us plenty of information about mapstones by turning them in. One thing to note about mapstones is it doesn't really matter where you turn in a mapstone in which altar. All that matters is the order. So it doesn't. If you turn in the first one, you'll always get the same pickup, no matter which altar you used. So with Fluffy turning them in, we know that the first 6 or so mapstones are not very important for this seed.
Yeah, now we see Fluffy going back into that glades, clearing out that area. He got the growth teleporter. We'll see if he decides to use it. Looks like an altar here. Again, not checking that ability cell, but we know it's just experience.
So we are getting a cool piece of information from the truck here. With Valley TP and Bash skill, the Wilhelm XP is in logic. Wilhelm Frog is one sort of Easter egg that Moon Studios added for us in this game. It screams when you throw him off. And there is a pickup there that maybe the runners could check, and it might be in logic, so it might be expecting progression there. That would be quite tough. We'll see if Romulus actually figures it out. He looks like he might be on the way there to try Fast Stompless once more.
Yeah, and we will note here that he's not required to do this trick. It's very technical, especially with the skills he has. But if he just decides to run over to the left and watch the little cutscene, he can just bash off the lanterns and off the birds and get up to that area.
Oh, looks like he is going to attempt it once more. Of course, this should not be in logic. It's quite a difficult trick, and yeah, it looks like he's struggling with it a bit more. Maybe doesn't know that that XP might be in logic. Actually, that shot looked pretty good. We'll see if he can get down there. And no health. Can't even take the damage boost.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna bash over here, grab that health from the plant, and then resave, so he can take a hit now. But again, he doesn't need to do this.
Yeah, actually, what's interesting is we say that we need to collect all trees, but in this case, this feather pickup that he would collect if he gets it successfully, that is still considered one of the skills in the game, that is glide in the vanilla game, so he does have to get it eventually, but at this point, all they really need is another skill or two to make their lives easier.
Yeah, it's been a very long time since they found anything that will make their ability to traverse easier. Rom getting that shot over, jumping around, waiting for that impact, not getting it. Gonna take a death and reset.
Yeah, I believe Bash was actually... Oh no, it was Wall Jump after all. It was Wall Jump was the last skill, but the last really big skill that they unlocked was Bash at the very beginning of the game. So this has been very, very skill starved. Both runners must be wondering, what could they have missed this whole time?
Yeah, Romulus still working on that Fast Stompless. Fluffy catching up on trees, having picked up the Charged Flame tree. They are now dead even on trees.
Yes, and Fluffy did get an energy cell there, so that's a great resource for him. That just doubles his energy count. He'll be able to save a little bit more, and that might make it a little easier. Ooh, looks like Romulus figured out a way to consistently get down there and despawn the rock. We'll see if the shot hits, and no, looks like it doesn't quite hit.
Yeah, and this is one of those dangers of nerves, really. Getting locked into this idea that I have to do the trick. I can't just do really the casual play. Oh, and he finally gets it. Excellent shot.
Great shot. Finally gets it. He is going to be able to get this feather, and we'll see what he decides to do next and if he goes up there to get the experience.
Fluffy's got no health, he's got no energy to save. He's trying to climb up this grotto vault, figure out what's at the top. Oh, he got an energy drop, and yeah, wisely saving there.
Yeah, the chat must be going 10%, 10%. Of course, that's the probability of dropping this energy, and this is going to help him greatly. These slimes are so annoying, they want to shoot at you, but yes, using Bash, he gets up there. Unfortunately, we know that it's just an ability cell. Meanwhile, Romulus is going to save at the TP. Where do you think he's going to go, Hal?
Well, with Kuro out of the way, he can now drop down into this valley area. There's a couple of pickups down here at the floor that can often be something interesting. That's a mapstone. Well, we know where mapstones go so far, and a third energy. That's very useful.
Yeah, and energy is definitely nice at this game. When you get 4 energy, there's a lot of doors that you could also open. But yeah, we don't know if that will actually be helpful. Oh, and Fluffy on the right, actually going back to Forlorn. What do you think he'll attempt to do here?
He might be making a play for the escape pickup.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he can complete the escape. If you were to complete the escape, you could get a hint for where Grenade and Stomp are. But
Okay,
yeah.
It looks like he was just going for that mapstone plug-in. Just Warmth Returned. One of those rare colored abilities that doesn't do anything. Just gives you a little bit of graphical effect outside of Mount Horu.
Yeah, Fluffy being extremely thorough with these mapstones, and meanwhile Romulus is going to do his first clear of Forlorn over here, so he's going to take his time to check all those pickups. Unfortunately, we also know that it's nothing, and meanwhile Fluffy doing the reverse play, he's going to go into Valley. I'm really curious to see if Fluffy's also going to go for fast Stompless, or if he's going to try to get up there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot else that you could do over here if you're not going to go for smashing the rocks above Kuro. So we'll see what Fluffy decides to do. He's got a little bit more health, a little bit more energy than Romulus did at this point.
Yes, so he's going to put down a save, and he has to do the same thing here. He has to bait this bird without it getting killed. Really nicely done. 1 double bash, 2 double bash, gets on the wall, another double bash just for good measure, and gets through this first putt very nicely with 1 energy to spare for a save.
Yeah, now he's going to bait this spider shot so that he can use that to get up to this ability cell. And of course, we know it's not something really good, but he'll be happy to have that health.
Yeah, health is huge. 6 health is starting to get decent now. It's no longer extremely starved. They could take a damage or 2. Of course, you'd always want to see more. But yeah, now is a really important decision for Fluffy. What is he going to do? And yeah, looks like he's running straight left. He's not going to bother with fast Stompless quite yet.
Yeah, I like this play. No reason to do fast Stompless here. The number of skills you have is really low, and the game doesn't expect you to do it. It expects you to just... Oh, wait, what's Fluffy doing here?
I am not quite sure yet. So he's going to grab the energy. Maybe he does want to make a save for the fast Stompless. And oh, the spider dies! Thankfully, he should respond quickly, and so Fluffy can get up there. But I think this might be an attempt on fast Stompless after all.
Or maybe just wanting to save after this... There we go, the spider respawning.
Yep, so now double bash the shot, get back up there, and what are you gonna do, Fluffy? And yeah, he's place a save, and right, left. Oh, he's going to do the alternative fast Stompless strat. He's going to double bash the shot all the way to Kuro. I wonder if this is to break the rocks or to just get up to the lantern. No, and still using the shot, a double bash, the lantern interfering. Now the birds are here. The birds want to kill you. Another double bash on the shot, using the bird and trying to aim it in the exact right position. We'll see if he gets it. He does. So that's the alternative Stompless method. Good job, Fluffy.
Wow, what a play. I mean, deciding not to go for fast Stompless was very good, and then this double bash chain, managing the shot, dodging the lanterns, dodging the birds, keeping them from intercepting it, getting that hit on the rocks above Kuro, and unfortunately, as we know, it's just going to be a keystone because we saw Romulus get it earlier. For his part, Romulus going for that swamp entry.
That's right. I must say I'm really impressed with Fluffy there. So many things could go wrong in that attempt, and everything just fell into place at the end of the day, and he got it first try. So very nice. And Fluffy is going to get a few checks down here. We also know from Rom that it's nothing. Meanwhile, Rom is actually doing swamp entry and doing it beautifully. He gets into Inner Swamp.
Fluffy finding yet another mapstone. Let's see if he makes a beeline for someplace to plug that in.
Yeah, at this rate, we might get all of those mapstones in before this game is over. And yeah, we actually, I don't know if we've seen this area yet. Rom is still alive right now. He doesn't have any energy, so this is quite scary. But he can open this keystone door, and he's going to try to navigate here. Ooh, I'm not sure he can get through. Oh, that's a very difficult jump. Well done. Now he has energy to save.
Yeah, and so we do know that Fluffy did not get up to this stump tree, and we're going to see why here. It's very difficult to do without more health to save here. Even I don't know that Rom is going to be able to get up there himself.
Yeah, he needs more energy or something for a save. Of course, you can grab the fish and double bash it, but the water is poisonous. Oh, is this a zombie Ori attempt in water? Looks like it is. Wow, this is a pretty difficult play. And no, it looks like he's going to give it up. He's going to altar and go back home. And meanwhile, Fluffy going for another difficult trick. He's going to go for the Frankie Walk to break down into Grenade Tree. What do you think of this, Hal?
You know, at some point you just have to go for trees, and this is a tree that Fluffy can get to. It's obviously the logic doesn't expect you to bring this Frankie over here. It doesn't even expect this Frankie to be alive. But you can bring it over here. You can use it to jump on this roof here and break it open, just like Fluffy just did. Prevent you from needing Stomp or Charge Jump to get down in this area. And then we'll see what Fluffy decides to do with his newfound freedom.
Right, and there's plenty of spooky lasers. In the game, you're expected to have dash at this point, and then you can use dash to sort of get through the lasers. Fluffy does not have that, so what he might do is he might use those ability point resources to do a zombie Ori and get through. We'll see if he does that, but right now he's trying to double bash this red frog all the way up and get that one pickup.
Yeah, and he gets there. Just an ability cell, but he's got a few more pickups he can check here.
Yeah, it looks like going for it. There's actually a place you can duck here on Fluffy on the right. And avoid the laser! Ooh! Yeah, not even close. Very well done. Gets through there. Gonna get a couple checks from that.
Again, just experience. Dodging the laser. He's got one more pickup that he might be able to get to. I don't know if he's got enough health for it, though.
Yeah, he's gonna have to damage boost. Thankfully, he does have 3 energy, so he can save. And these spikes do deal 3 damage, so it might be tricky to get through. He could attempt for a zombie Ori. Instead, he just saves. But yeah, I'm not sure this will be enough to get it.
Yeah, meanwhile, we do have Rom going here for an attempt to get into this pool of poison water on the right, realizing that he doesn't have the required abilities to break the drain into that area, so there aren't actually any more pickups he can get there.
Yeah, and Fluffy actually used the zombie Ori on the right to get through to that jump pad, but I'm not even sure if the jump pad is enough with these skills to get to that ability, so it looks quite close, but not enough, and FluffyPrower decides to get out of there.
Yep, Rom back in the map, trying to figure out what has he missed, what didn't he find, where was he supposed to go? Fluffy moving back to that teleporter. Where's he going now? Where does he think he's supposed to be going? Back to Swamp.
Back to Swamp indeed, and what is there left in Swamp, do you think, Hal?
Well, if Fluffy decides to take this amount of energy and health he has, he could get to the Stomp tree and maybe get himself that second clue, figure out hopefully where the Sunstone is. But I don't know that the Sunstone's going to help him a lot.
Yeah, thankfully he does have the health now. Unfortunately, Rom does not still have that much health. He's only at 4 HP, so all these paths would still be quite difficult for him. I wonder what he's thinking. Right now he's traversing Grotto, maybe going into the Swamp Loop. I'm not sure if you checked that yet.
Yeah, we see Fluffy here baiting yet another Frankie. He's going to probably use this one for a double bash, maybe to get up to this ability cell at the top. Romulus, for his part, back into Swamp Loop. What's he going for? Neither of our runners, of course, has picked up that ability cell in the upper left of this area. So maybe that's what he'll get?
Could very well be, and Fluffy does get this double bash chain, always getting them on the very last bash, so very nice, pretty precise right there from him. And actually Fluffy deciding to go into Horu Fields, so maybe he'll do some more fancy tricks to get through there.
Yeah, you can get across here with just bash. It's definitely not in logic, but you can do it.
Yeah, and Rom's still just doing the loop. We'll see Fluffy on the right is he's gonna attempt to do some pretty cool stuff. There's a laser! Oh, no problem right there. And now he has to bait a Baneling. I wonder which way he'll do that. Of course, he has bash. He can just throw it right against the wall and break it. But this is not where the difficult part comes in. This is the difficult part right here. These shots travel very fast, and it's quite tricky to double bash it right into yourself and take damage. Looks like he traverses us quite nicely. And now there's a laser right in his face. Will he get through? And oh, it looks like he does now. And it's a health cell, so just more health for him. And looks like the laser is no problem whatsoever. Very nice.
Yeah, but that health cell, getting him that refill just at the perfect moment, just in case he did take that laser.
Yeah, and looks like he's going to push the boulder down now. So this is one of those areas that you're supposed to push down this boulder. It's going to break the floor, and he's going to jump down with it. It's actually possible to soft block here, but not going to happen to Fluffy. The rock is well positioned.
Yep, Rom on the left getting that same precise jump. Oh, having some trouble getting off of this wall, it looks like. But making that precise jump again and again. And there we go, making it over to that area. And where's Fluffy going? He's trying to clear out this entire area, it looks like. Everything here does so much damage.
Yeah, extremely difficult right there. Oh, everything would kill him, but he is fine. He gets through this as well. Extremely impressive, but it's another ability cell. Looks like they have so many ability cells, but that's not what they want.
Yeah, we'll see where Fluffy decides to go next. Romulus triggering that cutscene in front of the Genso tree. He's going to get himself the Swamp Teleporter at least. He'll be able to use that later in. We're about 45 minutes into this seed. Nobody's finished yet for a race update from our truck. We've had one player forfeit, so maybe some frustration starting to happen within the greater population of runners.
Yeah, it looks like it's not just these two. The seed does seem brutal. Nobody can find the skills they need, it looks like, and everyone is just trying to figure out what pickup could it be that we missed and where is progression.
Yep, and Romulus going for a double bash chain, getting himself, again, more experience.
Yep, and right, Hal, when at this stage of the game, when you're so deep into the randomizer, of course the runners don't know how everyone else is doing. I think they can check whether others finished or not on race time, but it must be really difficult to keep this composure and keep playing. Is there anything that helps your decision making whenever you find yourself in this position, Hal?
You know, it's just like any other competition. At some point, you just have to be able to clear your head and play your game. And maybe your game doesn't seem like it's working out, but if you keep pushing at it, you can see nobody's finished yet. Looks like Fluffy's going for breaking these, going to get to that top ability cell at least. We'll finally figure out what that is.
Yeah, so we'll get a few pickups there. Fluffy having to... Oh, yep, nice double bash chain. It's also experience, so not that either. And now the wall is shut, so he can't even continue without doing a few more bashes. Meanwhile, Romulus is gonna go through Spider Psych, do a few more fancy double bashes, and get a couple pickup checks, and looks like just a keystone so far.
Yep, is Fluffy going to head back into Swamp near the Stomp Tree? Yeah, it looks like he will be doing that. Again, not in logic with the skills he has, but some pickups that he could grab, and a lot of experience there underwater.
Yeah, we have this sort of heuristic for how late is clean water. If there's a lot of XP in a certain area, that means you're unlikely to get it very early, so essentially the amount of XP scales with how late in the game the seed expects you to grab the item. And a lot of XP probably means that we're not going to get clean water very, very soon. But at this point, I don't know what we'll get whatsoever, so we just need anything whatsoever to just continue the seed.
Fluffy going for, looks like saving up some health. He's going to try and double bash this fish up to the energy cell up above. We'll see what that gets him.
Yeah, so this is another fish strats double bash up to this energy cell and stomp. At least that's a skill, Hal. We saw a skill.
Oh my goodness, a skill. And that's going to get him a couple more pickups. But he has no energy. He can't save. And he has no health either, so he can't even get the stomp pickup right next to him. So he's going to go back to spawn, hit the teleporter, restock on energy, restock on health, use that stomp to kill that slime, and then head in some direction and try and figure out where he wants to go next.
That's right, and I'm thinking right now, so that pickup of course is not in logic with just bash, but if they had glide, they could use these wind currents to get up there, so I reckon that the seed expected the runners to get glide somewhere. This means that glide should probably be accessible at some point, but of course we don't know where. Hopefully they find it soon.
Yeah, exactly. With Stomp hiding up there, there aren't a lot of ways that the logic expects you to get there, and Glide is one of them. We know that they have access to the Wind Restored pickup, especially if they get Glide, so we'll see. Meanwhile, Fluffy going into this valley entry area, this is usually an area we see runners hit earlier, but again, the seed has not been kind to them.
Yeah, and I think Fluffy was thinking that now that he has Stomp, he can stomp that peg, but deciding against it, there might be better pickups to check. And Romulus is going to go for a few more difficult double bash chains, and these spikes are instant death over there, no matter how much health you have, and looks like he fell victim to that.
Yep. Fluffy now looking at his teleporters, trying to figure out where he wants to go with this newfound Stomp ability.
Where would you go with Stomp, Hal? Any immediate destinations that you would consider?
You know, he's got a map stone. He could go down toward Forlorn the normal way and plug in another map stone.
It can't be another map stone, can it? This is just getting ridiculous at this point.
It does look like, however, Fluffy's going for this. Oh no, He's got enough health that he can tank this, but not that many hits.
Ooh, and did he have a save there? I'm not sure if this bird responds very quickly.
It doesn't, unfortunately, so he's going to take a death here, go back to the teleporter. Maybe he'll drop a save this time.
Yeah, so again, this bird really likes to dash toward you, but there's a spike there right in the way, so if you're not careful, you make the bird kill itself, and then you cannot use it for double bash chains. And again,
And unfortunately... And Fluffy's still not getting that save in. Oh no. Deciding to go another direction. Where's he headed now?
This might be this Forlorn entrance play that you alluded to, Hal. Maybe he's gonna go for that. So he's gonna kill those slimes here, make a save, do a damage boost, and there's a few pickups you can check there.
Yep, meanwhile on the left, sorry, we have Romulus going for that same Frankie trick, doing a little bit differently here. He's gonna double bash the Frankie up over the teleporter rather than bringing it through the crushers.
Yes, and Fluffy finally getting to this point down here. I don't think Rom can bash this Frankie anymore. It's too low health, so this is one risk of this double bash method. It's possible to bash the Frankie too much and kill it. Oh, and the Frankie gets up there. So well done so far. Now he has to make sure to navigate this Frankie so that it doesn't jump into any spikes, and it does. Ah, he has to retry that trick.
Thankfully, the crushers provide an easy way to die quickly and respawn. Meanwhile, Fluffy, yeah, going for that map unlock here.
Yeah, it's going to be all the mapstone turn-ins this seed. We'll see if it pays off for Fluffy on the right here. He's going to use this Baneling once again as a double bash target to get up there. And just one bash is enough, doesn't even need double bashes. And let's look at what's inside the altar.
Just a health cell. They are 7 mapstones in and haven't found anything yet.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's starting to difficult to get to the other mapstones. We have one in Sorrow, which is certainly going to be difficult to access. Unless they get Glide, actually.
Yeah, if they can find Glide wherever it happens to be, they would be in a pretty good place. They could, with that Wind Restored and Glide, they could get up into Sorrow Pass, clear most of it, if not all, and move on from there. And Fluffy, taking that dirty water swim here, finding himself a keystone for his efforts, and deciding to reload instead of just hitting Altar.
Yeah, there's actually this one-off pickup here. Romulus, I think, thought about it, but decided against it. He's going to go down here to the left, to the right. He doesn't know either. Maybe neither. Oh, Beta Spider Shot. Very well done. Now he can double bash that. Pretty tricky right here. Gonna get the XP pickup and maybe keep that thing going. Didn't quite get to it. And meanwhile, Fluffy is actually going... Is this a Glazer play?
You know, it looks like it might be. Romulus, for his part, getting the Water Vein. Unfortunately, just like Fluffy, he doesn't have the skills he needs to make use of it.
Yeah, and Fluffy going back to Glaze, he wants to get this... Oh, Fluffy's going to do a cool trick here. He's going to use this Frankie to push the rock faster. Hopefully the Frankie doesn't die. And since he does have Bash, this is a little faster in pushing the rock. Decides against it. I think the Frankie didn't fall him down. Now it does. We'll see if he does it. Yep. Bash the frog into the rock, move it faster. Very cool trick by Fluffy there.
Also, he's going to be able to use this Frankie to bash himself up onto this platform with the energy cell. We'll see what he gets. Again, another health cell. He's up to 9 health. That's very nice to have, but he'd really rather something with green text.
Yes, green text, maybe 4 letters, maybe even not 4 letters. I don't know how much dash would really help them at this point. But yeah, any sort of verticality. So I think I'm looking forward to maybe grenade so they can bash the grenade. Maybe charge jump. Maybe glide, as we said before. This should be available somewhere, we think. Maybe even something like double jump could be really helpful here.
Really, any skill would be helpful. Even something like Charge Flame that you usually think of as pretty low health, or low help, is going to be useful here because it'll allow them to break open all of those blue plants that they've had to skip past.
That's right. They could be doing a bunch of backtracking once again if they find that, but once again, nowhere in sight. Romulus on the left, unlocking Genzo. I think he's going to try to go through there, but how far can he really get here?
Unfortunately, only to that second room. Without double jump, charge jump, grenade, and bash, or dash, you just can't get through it. You don't have enough ability to go up.
Yeah, well, he's gonna try. He doesn't know what else he is missing, but looks like he might be able to use bash here to get up there. But all these brambles are down, and he can't. Even if he does manage to get up there, the following room doesn't have any brambles to bash. So unfortunately, this is not gonna yield very much. And Fluffy on the right actually is gonna stomp a peg to get down here and get something called the butter cell underwater.
Yeah, and again, he's really digging hard at these underwater poison swim pickups. We know that clean water has to be pretty reasonably late. I mean, they would have found it already if it was early, but also there's a fair bit of XP in there. So interesting to see what people are going for.
Yeah, and it looks like Rom realized that Ginzo is just not gonna happen, not possible with these skill sets, so he has to rethink his decision and try to find somewhere else to dig to get those few skills. Of course, we know where Stomp is in this case, but it's not even in logic, so there must be Glide somewhere, and I think Rom is trying to figure out where is that skill that is still in logic that I could still get and I haven't checked yet.
You know, I just saw Fluffy go past it, and it occurs to me that that health cell in Grotto at the just below the teleporter, that's accessible.
Oh yeah, that might be accessible with Bash, he should be able to get up there, so with all this time sitting in Grotto, maybe there is a pickup that both of them missed, and that might be the key here. Actually, Fluffy here gonna teleport to Grotto, I wonder if he's gonna check that one. And Romulus is there as well, both of them are going to Grotto.
Yeah, we'll see. Romulus, it looks like heading up, going to decide what he wants to do from there. Fluffy standing on the teleporter, saving again, getting himself a health and energy refill, also moving upward.
Ah, yeah, maybe this isn't. I don't think that's what they had in mind. Maybe they're thinking of another pickup somewhere here. And yeah, Romulus gonna go through the loop once again, maybe gonna decide to get into Swamp. He might actually get Stomped now if he decides to double bash the fish. He might have just enough health to do so.
Yeah, or he might be thinking about this ability cell that we saw Fluffy get a little bit earlier. It looks like, yeah, he's breaking these floors open. So he's looking for a projectile to bash to get himself up there.
Yeah, and Fluffy actually might attempt to go into Stomp Tree. I don't believe he's gotten there quite yet. He has so much health now, it really shouldn't be too much of a problem. And Rom is gonna get this check, unfortunately. It's just experience. Hopefully he does decide to go right. Looks like he might actually, and he might find Stomp there.
Yeah, both of our runners here, after so much searching independently, have joined up and are heading into this swamp area. Fluffy stomping that floor, finding himself, again, just more experience. But now he's got enough health. He can make it up to the Stomp Tree.
Yeah, it would be much more difficult for Rom, though, I'd say. It's kind of difficult to say who is ahead at this point. I think the person who'll be ahead will be the one that finds this next crucial skill. But oh no, Rom decides to leave. He will not check it.
Yeah, just wherever Glide is, Rom needs to find it. Meanwhile, Fluffy checking this. It looks like he got stuck there maybe a little bit. Getting this tree here, that'll be his 6th tree. No, sorry, 7th tree. No, 6th tree. And he finds Sunstone in Misty Woods. So, an area that he can't technically get to, but maybe could. He's got enough health.
Yeah, and what's very scary about Sunstone Misty is that Misty is a pretty long area. It could be somewhere right at the end of Misty, and if you can't reach that area and you have to Alt-R, then you'll have to traverse Misty all over again. So we'll see if he decides to do that play. He might just, because there just seems to be so few areas that he can actually check.
Yep, Fluffy heading over to Valley again. Where's he gonna go this time? He's already put in 7 map stones. There's only 2 map altars left. One in Sorrow Pass that he's going to have quite a time getting to, as well as one in Mount Horu, which he can't access without the Sunstone.
He's going up. I wonder if it is a Sorrow Pass play, actually.
You know, it could be. I bet you right now he's thinking this ability cell right here. He wants to stomp on a bird's head and break that wall, which he does, gets a keystone for his efforts.
Yeah, that might have been his thought process, but he is continuing. Did he check that XP over there? I believe he did, and it wasn't very much. Yep, he's just double-checking there and continuing to go upwards. Sorrow would be quite difficult with the skill set, but you could do Sorrow Bash, a double bashing method.
Yeah, and of course, the questions that our runners have to be asking themselves right now, not just where are the skills, but where are the skills that let me break blue things? Where's Glide? Where's Energy?
Yeah, apart from being able to reach the trees, of course the runners will have to do the final escape at the end, and that's certainly not enough skills to comfortably complete it. So yeah, they certainly need more skills to get to the trees. Fluffy might be able to just get into the Sorrow tree. He's going to do this crazy double bashing here, going to get up to Sorrow, but now he doesn't have Glide. He can't use the wind as you would do in a casual playthrough, so he has to do some sneaky bashing, and he is going to go to the altar over here.
He's making that map 8 play.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think map 9 might be quite difficult because you might need the Sunstone for that, but he can get the 8th one right here, and we'll see if that's anything important.
And he finds an energy cell. 4 energy. Oh my goodness, it's Glide!
No
Mapstone 8 Glide, are you kidding me?
Wow. Looks like Fluffy actually getting glide first here. All these mapstones turn-ins. I think Fluffy's entire strategy was turn in mapstones, and he's gotten all of them in, and now he's rewarded with glide. Of course, I believe the logic would expect you now to go and get Stomp, but he already has Stomp. He's already in Sorrow. He's gonna get plenty of checks right here.
Yeah, Glide is going to really open up his play here. Again, he still can't break any of the blue objects. He still doesn't have that verticality for Ginso Tree. But what he does have is the ability to get almost every pickup here in Sorrow Pass. He skipped the... Did he skip the lever?
I believe he did, so you might realize that this thing is closed. No, he doesn't even bother going there, it seems. He's just gonna keep going. Maybe he just wants the tree, or maybe he forgot. We don't quite know.
Yeah, it looks like he might just be going straight for the tree as quick as he can here. Taking this very casual... Oh my god, it's Grenade!
It's Grenade, it's huge. Now you can use this Bash Grenade. Now Fluffy is on controller, let's remember that. So Bash Grenade might not be the easiest thing to do, but at this stage in the game, he doesn't need to use it too much. He needs to get Ginzo. He can traverse Ginzo now with this verticality. This is very huge play for Fluffy over here.
So let's back it up just a little bit, because of course, there's no way that the game expects you to get to that map altar with just the skills that Fluffy has, which means Glide was not the progression.
That's right, there must have been something else. I wonder what it could be, and maybe Rom can find it and actually get a little bit ahead and get a hint as to where he must go next. He might not have Glide very much, because the mapstones are hard to come by at this point. That was a very, very high mapstone count. But yeah, so hopefully Rom finds it quick, and meanwhile Fluffy is just going to make really quick work of Sorrow.
Yeah, with Glide, Grenade, Bash, Fluffy can make quick work of this. Again, he can't quite finish the game yet, though.
That's right, he has a few more trees left to go. I don't believe he visited Grenade quite yet. He should be able to get there. Oh, and actually Fluffy doing a key duplication trick here. He wants to make sure that he will not run out of mapstones.
Yeah, duplicating on 6 keys is a very interesting choice here, but maybe he's thinking he might have to do all of Misty Woods with that Sunstone clue, and is preparing for it.
Yeah, and we'll see how deep into Misty they actually have to dig. That might be pretty crucial for the finishing times here. Fluffy is going to get the trees. Of course, we're not going to get any more clues. We already have them all. Horu, Guman Seals and Horu. I don't think we'll be getting that whatsoever. And we have Sunstone in Misty.
I do have to correct myself here. I neglected to remember that Fluffy found Grenade, so he does have the ability to move through the Ginso tree now.
Yeah, and I expect him to do that fairly soon. Of course, after the Ginzo tree, there's also a very dense area of pickups, and maybe there's some progression there. I'm sure Fluffy will check if he gets there. But looks like he wants to get a few more pickups in Sora. No, maybe he's heading out straight to Misty. That might be the play here.
Yeah, I'm sure he's thinking that he needs to move along as quickly as he can. And yeah, it looks like I'm seeing a stomp down through Valley, skipping pickups, going straight to Misty.
Yeah, so how difficult do you think this Misty will be? Of course, things do a decent amount of damage here, but Fluffy has plenty of health. He also has plenty of energy for safety saves, but no double jump. Fortunately, he does have glide, so I feel like BZ Sunstone is right there! Wow, so all he needs is the tree, and he can just get out of here.
And we do see him leveling up Ultra Defense here. He has Glide, he has Bash Grenades. He has just about everything he needs to move through here pretty safely, actually.
And looks like he's not really checking any pickups, so he's not too concerned about finishing the game, perhaps, or maybe he's just looking for one more skill. But yeah, he's pretty confident. He knows what he has to do. He's just moving through. Meanwhile, Romulus on the left is just going to Forlorn. I don't know if there's anything in there.
Yeah, I mean, we know there's nothing in there. We saw Fluffy clear it out, but Rom may be running out of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also running out of ideas. I would not think of going to Sorrow to submit yet another mapstone. There must be something in logic, but where could it be? Romulus doesn't know. And meanwhile, Fluffy looks like he's not having too much trouble with Misty. He's going to be using some bashes, using these glides to very nicely descend, not touch any spikes. No problem, right there. Not even going to check any pickups, just, yeah, heading for the tree as fast as possible.
Yeah, and so we can say pretty comfortably Fluffy is thinking about here that he's in go mode, and I would agree with him. He's able to finish the seed, so he's going to move through it as quickly as he can.
Yeah, I wonder what the state of the other finishers is at this moment, and we'll see if Fluffy actually is one of the first people to find this weird, difficult progression or not. But yeah, looks like he is all set to finish. He is going to get the tree in right a minute, going here on the top route, opting not to bash the frog. No reason to lose time for the difficult tricks. And yeah, Rom looks like is going to go to Valley. Is he going to do the Sora play here?
You know, he might, but again, he's still on those original 3 skills, so I don't know what he's necessarily thinking he might be able to do.
Yeah, very tough indeed for Rom. This seed is quite difficult.
For a quick check-in with the rest of our racers, again, this is a preliminary match. We had about 15 runners check in for it. We've had now at 1 hour and 6 minutes 2 racers finish this seed. A whole 2.
Wow, that is crazy. A lot of seeds can be completed in about 30 minutes. Not this one. We have some very skilled runners here who are not able to do it this fast. A whole hour has passed and we're still going. And yeah, Fluffy is going to go down here to Grenade on the right side. Keep your eyes on him. I'll see how he manages to get through here. He can try to use a grenade or a bunch of save anywheres. Yeah, looks like he might use the grenade. Ducking right here, opening a save. No, it's a save anywhere. He's going to die to this laser and save at a precise time. Another save and boom, gets through. Very well done.
Yep, and then it's just going to be a simple double bash chain. We've seen him do plenty of these to get this Baneling to help him out, and then one more save anywhere, skip this 72-second long cutscene, and get his second to last tree.
Yeah, so it looks like having so many abilities here coming into play, him being able to do all those skips without issue and save a lot of time. Rom, meanwhile, is going back to Grotto. Is he trying to do the save drop with this save anywhere? That's very possible. And yeah, Fluffy is at his 9th tree, so he has one more tree left, it seems, and that one should be in Ginza.
Yep, just cleaning up now. Rom, doing this whole thing behind the save anywhere. I'm curious as to what he's thinking about.
No!
And takes a death, goes all the way back to the teleporter. That almost looked intentional to me, though.
Oh, perhaps he doesn't want to go there, but he's going right back down. Maybe he has something else in mind. Of course, he doesn't have the skills that Fluffy has. It would be a lot more difficult for him to climb up all those ramps. Oh, a save here. Looks like he's just using it for saves. Instead of wasting his energy, he can just waste the ability points, and they autosave whenever he uses them.
Yeah, it looks like maybe he's thinking of trying to get this energy door open with only 3 energy. Yeah, he's left one in there. Unfortunately, got a little bit too close there and gave up the glitch.
So using this energy glitch, you can actually get the door. You can get 1 energy to get stuck in the door, and then you can grab some more energy and then finish the full 4. He has 3, so if he can get 1 stuck, that would be good for him. But unfortunately, it's quite difficult, and he hasn't.
He got it though.
Oh, he did get it. Excellent.
He got
Now
it. He's going back for an energy. Opens
yes,
the door.
yes.
Meanwhile,
now
on the right, Fluffy just moving through Ginso. Again, he's got everything he needs at this point.
Yeah, just gonna go finish the seed. Glide here will make this quite easy for him. A few more rooms, and then he'll be reaching this Ginso tree, bash tree, in Ginso, tree inside a tree. And both of them looks like they were pushing these blocks at the same time. Quite scenic.
Yeah, Fluffy skipping out on this redirect puzzle. Of course, you're not supposed to have bash for this, but he does because this is Randomizer, and just going to take some time, laser down this mini-boss, that attack upgrade coming in handy, getting his XP, and moving on.
Oh, we are almost there, and look at the number of keystones Fluffy has. It looks like he has 6, I believe, so this is just enough to open here. If he did key dupe there, he'd have 3, so that might be a really smart play for him, because now he can just open and move on. Otherwise, he'd have to dupe here, which is a lot more difficult than doing it in Sora.
Yeah, it's a play that definitely paid off for him here, and he's going to check this one last pickup before he hits that tree, gets an energy cell. He's finished all 10 trees, and can now go to Mount Horu and go for the final escape.
That's right. Meanwhile, Rom is back in Forlorn. He is starting to turn in mapstones. Looks like he got the Warmth return. So that's the 6th turn in. He needs 2 more. And he has 1 more mapstone in his inventory. So I'm sure he'll get it eventually. But the play to Sorrow to turn in a mapstone there is quite not trivial.
Yeah, and we did see Rom just a little bit ago using one of the features of the randomizer. If you hold Alt and press 2, it'll actually show you which map alters you haven't put in yet. So very nice memory aid there. He checked to see which ones he hadn't done yet, and he's going to be beelining, looks like, to those map alters.
Yeah, it looks like he knows what he has to do. He recognized how many mapstones he has gotten. He's thinking, yeah, I bet it's mapstone progression. I need to make sure I get to all those altars and turn in everything
Almost.
I have. Gets through. It's okay. Those spikes never killed anybody ever, definitely. And yeah, he's getting through nicely. Meanwhile, Fluffy's gonna navigate these lasers on the right, try to get into Mount Horu. He has the Sunstone, and he's gonna be doing the final escape after a trick called Door Warp. Maybe you can describe Door Warp for us, Hal?
Yeah, so Fluffy's going to save the game right in front of the door on the inside of Mount Horu, and then he's going to reload. And when he reloads it, he's going to try and press up to enter the door on the very first frame that the game loads. If he does this just right, he will go through the door, and because the game doesn't know where to put him, it'll put him at the end of the dungeon.
Yeah, and from there on, it's just the escape, and that's it. He'll be done with the seed. Of course, the seed, again, taking over an hour. A very, very difficult seed for everyone involved here, not just these two runners. And yeah, here's Door Warp on the right. He's going to be reloading the game and pressing up on the first frame, and he gets it first try. Very well done.
Yep, so Fluffy moving into this final escape, running away from an angry bird. We can see with that lovely replay him, again, getting this door first try. Very difficult, just a 1/60th of a second window to get that input.
Yep, and he's going to be starting the escape now. The bird is, of course, going to chase him around. This is not the most standard skills to have. Of course, the game doesn't really expect you to have it, but I'm sure he's going to be using plenty of bash grenades. A very, very versatile combo. Allow him to traverse all those areas. Gets hit by a rock here, but of course has plenty of health. He's going to try to not fall to the lava and gets through there. Stomp, and yep, he's through to the next room.
Now, one thing he will have to do here is he's going to have to deal with this vertical wall at the bottom of this next shaft. About the only way he can do it is by stomping directly into the fire there. Takes the damage and decides to and continues on. He's only got 5 and a little bit of health left. Thankfully, he does have that ultra defense leveled up.
Yeah, again, his high ability count allowing him to level that to see he's going to be able to get through the swim just fine. I wonder if he's going to be doing fish strats. No, he's not. He's going to just use glide. Of course, he has that. He just skipped a Kuro spawning animation, so now he has plenty of time to get up. Using glide again, going to try to grab one of those boulders, descending dangerously low, but it's okay. Gets the boulder, 1 boulder, 2 boulder, 3, and he is done. GG, Fluffy.
Yeah, GG. Just has to hold right now at this point. So we will bring our eyes over onto the left. Rom, again in Grotto, opening up that save anywhere. Looks like he's going to try and zombie to this pickup at the top. It doesn't need to zombie. Levels up, so he's even got enough health to get back out.
Yeah, so Rom does have a mapstone that he can turn in, but we know, of course, that that wouldn't be enough. He needs another one, and once again looking at the map, trying to find something he hasn't taken yet.
Yeah, and also he doesn't really have the ability to get to those 2 map altars. Without Stomp, he'll need to do a very difficult double bash chain to bring a frog over to break through that floor. To get up into Sorrow, he'll need to Sorrow bash and then continue to bash upward. It's just not a pretty sight. Makes me think, okay, glide couldn't have been the intended progression here. Somewhere, there was a skill that they were expected to find that gives them access to everything. And Romulus is looking at his map, trying to figure out where it could be.
Certainly, and judging by the time it took most people to finish, looks like that has been a problem for everyone. And yeah, we'll see what Romulus decides to do next.
Yeah, Fluffy has now officially finished with a time of 1:14.23. He's our 3rd finisher in today's race of 15 racers.
Wow, that's excellent.
Oh,
Maybe
I'm sorry. 18 racers. 20 racers. I can't count today. I should not count on stream.
The number is only going up, so that's a great result for Fluffy right there. Of course, the prelims are only going to determine the seeding for the actual brackets, so the runners are trying to do the best they can to try to get a better seed and have an easier time at the beginning of brackets. And yeah, looks like Fluffy did great for himself, so well done to him. It was a very difficult seed, but he persevered and managed to finish it in a very, very respectable 3rd.
Yeah, Rom, again, trying to work his way through this seed. And he's gone back to Valley. bashing his way across these, still looking for that next skill.
Yeah, so maybe finally Sorrow. Do you recall if there was a mapstone in Sorrow? I'm not sure because he needs another one, and he's gonna reload to try to get the bird back. Seems like the recurring problem of this bird killing itself. I like the save, allowing him a few more attempts. Wow, bird dying again. The bird really does not want to help the runners, but Rom is able to get up using climb.
Yeah, and he's back up into this area. He's already gotten all the pickups here. Maybe he is thinking that Sorrow play, or maybe he's thinking, I don't know, maybe the experience pickup above the Kuro rocks? Maybe the pickup that Kuro sits on?
Yeah, and oh, the cutscene still plays. I think Kuro shouldn't even be there, and I think Romulus is circling his mouth. It's like, why is Kuro there? I already got him out of there, but he's still sitting there because the game is very, very confused at this point. He's going to be bashing those birds, and yeah, we'll see where he heads. Is it going to be Sorrow? Well, he's gonna stop on the left platform first, using the double bash.
Who barely makes that jump, getting some energy, able to save, and what's he gonna? Looks like he might be trying to bait this bird to come over and help him out. No, he's falling.
Oh, it wasn't Kuro Perch.
Only 43 XP there. Trying to bait this bird. Gets the bait. There we go. Okay, yeah, he's going to make his way into Sorrow, it looks like here. Double bashing this bird along.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh
think
no!
he's...
Threw it into spikes.
I don't think he's going to be able to get to grenade quite very easily. Oh, it looks like he might go for a save anywhere. No, decides to close it. Yeah, he can try to do a zombie, but I don't think that would help him very much because if he does die to the spikes, he has no way to get up. The bird, of course, won't be there anymore.
Yeah, thankfully he does have that save to reload at, but yeah, who knows where you're supposed to go at this point? It looks like Rom making the Misty Woods play. He'll find, well, he might find the Sunstone here. It's going to be tricky for him to get that pickup.
Yeah, I don't believe anything in horror might be in logic, but I wonder if he'll try to jump in and get a few pickups in horror as soon as he gets that. I don't imagine that would be the play, but he is gonna find it and see how he reacts. Oh, he's circling the Sunstone, and it looks like he'll continue in Misty and try to get some pickups while heading to the tree.
Yeah, this is going to be a really difficult Misty as compared to the one that we saw Fluffy do. Only 6 health, 1 point of health regeneration, but no ultra defense, no glide, no stomp. He's signed up for a bit of pain here.
Yeah, definitely. Again, a bunch of double bashes probably is what we're gonna see right here. Maybe this shot right there. He has 0 energy and half a health. This is gonna be really difficult. If he touches anything, he's gonna die immediately, and he has no way to save his game.
Yeah, doing, again, that double bash chain, but oh no! Oh, he takes a death! Going all the way back to that save.
Yeah, the slime gets him. The slime is not taking prisoners today, and more slimes, more shots.
Yeah, dodging those a little bit more effectively this time. He's got 3 health now. Moving his way through, maybe trying to bring this Frankie with him. Yeah, it looks like he's going to try and double bash the Frankie. Gets up a little higher, still 1.5 health. That won't do anything against these 3 damage spikes.
Yeah, very, very difficult part that he's going for here. We don't know if he'll find anything because Fluffy has not checked any pickups. He was in go mode. Oh, and another death.
Yeah, Rom just struggling with this unfortunate seed today.
You know, and it's excellent that he still keeps going. He's not giving up on the seed. He wants to finish it, and he wants to figure out what the heck he was supposed to do here. So he's still playing. I really respect that. It is quite difficult after an hour and 20 minutes of trying to find where something is, to still play, to still think, and try to search in your head what you could have skipped. And doing all those difficult things while you're still thinking and trying to figure out what the logic wanted is quite difficult.
Yeah, and going for this crazy double bash chain as well, trying to get himself through to the next pickup in Misty, just to try and figure out where he's supposed to be. And even just, okay, I don't know where I'm supposed to be, but maybe if I go here I can find something.
Yeah, I mean, it's said that in rando, when you're going towards a tree, it's almost always a pretty good idea because you have to get the tree anyway at some point. So if you're going towards a tree and getting some pickups along the way, that's certainly not bad. Of course, this is not in logic, but logic didn't really matter for Fluffy too much. He got this amazing Sorrow play that sort of won him the game with Grenade and the Mapstone Turnip. So maybe something similar might happen to Rom here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rom going to have a little bit of trouble here. He's going to have to damage boost across these spikes, and he can only take one hit.
Yep, and
But he
looks like
makes it.
we'll be bringing Fluffy here for a quick interview. Fluffy, how do you feel after the seed? This was a seed, wasn't it?
I don't know what logic was, and I'm scared to find out what it was.
You know what's great? We don't know either, but there was some very elusive pickup that nobody found, it seems.
Ah. Yeah.
I have one question for you. When you found Stomp, what were you thinking? I think it was about 40 minutes without any skills. Did you have any immediate destinations that came to mind? It was a skill, but it wasn't immediately obvious what to do with it.
I found Stomp, and my first instinct was go down into Blackroot more, but I'd already been there, so I didn't know what to do.
The Fluffy way, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind, and it's like, this seed is so awful, I've already been there and gotten everything I could possibly get.
So then, of course, the next question, you're plugging in the mapstones, you make your way into Sorrow, and the 8th mapstone, you find Glide. What goes through your head?
This is the latest go mode I've probably ever had in a race, and I am not happy about it. Why was go mode on mapstone 8?
Yeah, in Sorrow no less. So that was pretty crazy for us.
Yeah.
We were all going crazy in commentary over here. And yeah, it looks like you were turning in Mapstone from the first minute. That was the play, and it looks like it really worked out for you. So well done.
I expected there to be something on mapstone 6 since I had 2 more on me after I put in 5, and we had the Forlorn TP, so I was like, this is probably it. And then I went there and got nothing.
Yeah, we were talking about the Forlorn play as well, but then Sorrow nobody expected from us, I think, for it to be Sorrow. So yeah, very, very great for you that you found it right there. Awesome play.
And even Grenade in Sorrow as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fluffy, maybe we should let you sleep, right? It's really late out there, so good job completing the seed.
My sleep schedule's messed up anyways, I'm not sleeping for hours.
Haha, perfect.
Well, congratulations on your race, finishing in 3rd overall from that very difficult preliminary.
Yeah.
All right, jumping back into our race, we have Rom making the Horu play here with wall jump, climb, and bash.
That's right, so we'll see what he can check here. This is, again, pretty difficult area. This is the last dungeon you clear in the actual game, so obviously things do a lot of damage, there's a lot of fire. We can notice that lava is drained in the randomizer to make it a little more interesting, to allow the runners to get a few more pickups at first and to allow more variability for the play. Looks like the play from Rom is to get 1 pickup, which is nothing, and then double bash the Baneling. Unfortunately, it's not working out quite yet. I reckon he'll try it again.
Yeah, and these Banelings have an interesting property. If you try to double bash them off the ground, they don't actually lift off. The one that he's double bashing now must have had just a tiny smidge of height when he bashed it the first time. But that's why you see this double bash just not working on this first Baneling.
Oh yeah, and the Baneling colliding into each other, just ruining the hopes of using one of them to get up there, but he's not going to give up, he's going to try once again. That looked like the Baneling was off the ground, but maybe it was not. He has to bash up. Oh, he's going to kill this Baneling, make sure it doesn't interfere, use the other one, okay. Bash it up. No, double bash won't work, he has to bash it up first and reloads the game.
Oh, maybe he doesn't know this. This isn't an immediately obvious feature about these Banelings. Okay, gets the double bash started here.
And he gets the pickup, but it's just experience. Oh no, it's still not quite it.
And these projectiles from these Horu elementals are so fast.
Yeah, so if you have to initiate a double bash chain very quickly after you started one, because if you don't, then the projectile either runs away from you or you collide with it and just die. And with Romulus's health, he really can't afford to do that. He's gonna try for the Baneling play again. I wonder what room he's aiming for here, Hal.
Yeah, there are 8 rooms here in Horu, and it looks like he's gonna altar, back out, maybe loading a backup save. Let's see here. Where's he hoping to be? Okay, he's right in front of the door. Is he door warping? Is he maybe thinking to check this pickup in the basement of Horu?
Yeah, so there is one pickup he can get. We call it the validation, but in this case we're not validating anything. We're just trying to get any sort of progression. And I do want to remind us that this race might be over, but we're not really racing here. This is a preliminary round, and almost half the runners have not yet finished. So Romulus is still playing for some good seeding over here, and we'll see what he decides to do. This is still pretty important for him.
Yeah, realizes that he's not able to get that pickup due to not having any additional way to gain height above his simple ground jump without enemies around. And going again for these double bash chains, trying to get to these experience pickups hanging out near the elementals at the sides of the room.
And an ability cell. Nope, gets out of Horu. Looks like nothing nice is gonna come of that. What's next? Hal, can we try to brainstorm any areas that they haven't picked up yet? There must be something, right? So at least we don't have to play the video game, so we can just think a little bit. Any ideas from you?
You know, there's still that health cell below the grotto TP that none of them have picked up that could be something. It is
That's a
accessible with
teleportation to
Dash.
Grotto. That is a teleport to Grotto from Romulus, so maybe he'll go there now. And, not quite. He's thinking about something else, looks like. Maybe he'll get stomped from the fish, perhaps?
Yeah, if he goes up and double bashes the fish, he is up to 7 health at 3 energy at this point, which is a little bit more comfy to go for that sort of trick.
Yep, so looks like passing here for the 20th time. Definitely not worrying about any lasers. Lots of backtracking for all the runners this seed. And he is heading in that direction. We'll see if he decides to do it. He does have 7 health now, so 7 health is pretty comfortable. Should be no issue doing that if he decides to attempt it. And he is heading in the right direction so far. Did he turn in the mapstone here? I bet he did.
Yeah, he almost certainly did with 6 in. Yep, and that map altar is complete. We'll see if he goes for this double bash on the fish or if he's just thinking about that tree. He's panning the camera down. He might be thinking about jumping into the water.
No, Ron, no. Looks like this
And he's
is
going
actually
straight
a
for the tree.
play. Yeah, well, he does need to get the tree, so I like this play, but just double bashing this fish instead of the other fish to get up here just needs to do the same over there. Of course, he does not know that. And yeah, really good job here, actually. Oh, takes a little bit of damage, and yeah, he can still use that shot below, so it's not over for him. Might use some more double bashes. It's going to be a bit of a tight jump right here, and oh, he does not get the jump. It's a climb ramp.
Yeah, he's going to actually need to double bash this shot up just to make it to that lantern without landing on the spike.
Ah! Oh, and he gets sent back, but maybe this is beneficial. What if he remembers this time around that there's one pickup that he could get?
Yeah, all he needs to do is go for that fish. Nope, he's going to keep running past it. Going for that tree, usually a very good idea in Randomizer. Get the trees out of the way. But unfortunately, in this exact circumstance, he's skipping Stomp.
Yeah, it's hard to say what to do in this circumstance. I think the fluffy way is the way in this specific seed. Just get everything you can get your hands on. Absolutely everything. Doesn't matter what. Especially maps and altars.
Yeah, especially when the 8th mapstone is hiding something as valuable as Glide.
Yep, and he does get to some tree, so this will move him ahead a little bit in the seed. Of course, he'll have to get that tree regardless, even if he gets the skill, so now he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. We'll see if he decides to Alt-R or if he heads left. I do believe he'll Alt-R because he passed the area with Stomp many times and did not get it.
He might... Nope, it doesn't look like it. There is a double bash chain you can do to try and get the ability cell immediately above and to the right of where he was, but looks like he's going to continue on and try to go somewhere else.
Rom has been playing this game for quite a while, but I believe he is newer to the randomizer, which would mean that he might not be comfortable with all those crazy tricks that the seed sort of threw at the runners. The logic doesn't really expect them to do this, but at the same time, the logic expects something so crazy here that breaking logic and going out of sequence might save a lot of time here.
Yeah, and as we approach 90 minutes into this seed, just a quick update on our overall preliminary. Of our 20 runners that have started, we've got 10 that have finished now, and 3 that have decided that this seed is not worth finishing. And frankly, I can't say I blame them.
Yeah, definitely not. The seed is absolutely brutal. I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite this complicated in a randomizer seed. This is certainly some sort of record. And Rom going for a difficult swim right here. He just has just enough health. Bash the fish, gets in it with 1 HP, and oh, a keystone. Nope, not quite it.
Yeah, and thanks to our truck there reminding us, Grem is, no, not Grem, Romulus is an any percent speedrunner in Ori. So these a movement with wall jump alone is going to be something that he's fairly familiar with, but unfortunately not for this long.
Yeah, this is a little bit crazy. They did get the 4 green letter bash, but looks like nothing else. So this has sort of been the use bash for all the wrong purposes type seed, it seems. And yeah, another grotto run, so maybe he'll go down this time, or what's the play? Yes, he does. Is he gonna go to the right? No, Death Gauntlet, it seems, is the play.
Yeah, I wonder what he's going for in here. Maybe thinking about trying to use an energy glitch for that underwater door.
Yeah, this could be quite difficult because the water is not clean, and I don't know how easy it is to just put that in. I believe it is possible with climb, but we'll see if Rom knows about the trick.
Yeah, he's leveled up some abilities into that purple tree, going for sense. Now, in the randomizer, we've changed some of the abilities around on that purple tree to make them a little bit more useful to the typical rando runner. Athos, can you tell me what sense does?
Yeah, so Sense was added in the 3.0 version of the randomizer. So in the tournaments we held before, that was version 2.6. It did not have that. But now in this version, Sense, usually in the vanilla game, it just sort of shows the players where the hidden pickups are. So they might be hidden behind leaves or something and makes it easier to full clear the map. Of course, randomizer players already know where all the pickups are, so that's not very helpful whatsoever. Instead, what Sense does is it sort of draws this radius around Ori, this invisible radius, and then whenever the runners get close to an important pickup, like a skill for example, then Ori turns a different color, and then the runners could use that to sort of check pickups without actually going there and grabbing them. They just need to stand close to the pickup, and if Ori changes color, they know that they should probably get it because it's something important.
So almost like playing a game of hot cold with your brother?
Yes, exactly that. And the colors actually reflect that. I believe Ori turns more red whenever it is close, so that should indicate hot, while blue Ori would indicate cold. But unfortunately, he does not quite have the same number of ability cells as Fluffy did, so Sense is still a little bit far away from him.
Yeah, and now we see him making that play for Horu Fields. We know from seeing FluffyCo here that there are some ability cells, but not much else.
Ability cells might be quite nice here. Actually, an interesting thing about Sense, you could use Sense in Mapstone altars, right, Hal? Could you maybe explain how that works? It's a little tricky.
Yeah, when you step in front of a Mapstone altar and our little buddy Sign flies into it, Sense, instead of looking around where Ori is, will instead look at the upcoming pickups in the Mapstone list. And if it finds one that it would usually trigger on, it'll change Ori's color depending on how many Mapstones away it is.
Yeah, and maybe if Rom does end up getting Sense and he goes to an altar and sees that Ori turns a different color, he'll know that he has to dig for a Mapstone and then try to find an altar somewhere. In this case, we know where probably would be Forlorn and Sorrow, although maybe he'll opt for the Horu one.
Yep, and Rom going for this same play. Oh no, hits the slime and falls into the water.
That slime is a lot more deadly than it seems. Whenever you bash it, it just explodes and just wants to kill you, so that's pretty precise angles. He doesn't quite save yet. There's a bunch of stuff wanting to kill you. The water is just instant death. It's quite tough here.
Yeah, this water is instant death. The slime keeps knocking him off of his little platform. Just not having a good time with going for this pickup is Rom.
Yeah, hopefully he gets it soon, and we do believe it was an ability cell, if we remember correctly. And if so, it would be slightly helpful, but not quite enough. He needs a lot more for Sense, and yeah, not gonna bother. It's a little bit too problematic for him there. And can't blame him, it's quite difficult to check that with those skills.
Yeah, and again, something that will help our runners figure out where they need to go at this point is thinking about that logic, thinking about, okay, wall jump, climb, and bash are the pickups that I have. What does the randomizer expect me to go to? What does it expect me to have access to? And unfortunately, at this point, we aren't really quite sure what that is.
Yeah, as you said, there's the health cell, but for all we know, we had multiple of those ideas and they turned out to be XP, so it could be that that health is also an XP and it's in some other really, really spooky place, and I wonder what progression that might actually be. Do you have any guesses, Hal?
Well, we know it's not Stomp or Glide or Grenade, so that at least takes those off the table. Charge Flame could be useful, Double Jump would be very nice, Charge Jump would be nice, Dash would be glorious.
Yeah, certainly, and it seems like Rom just communicated that he does not intend to finish this particular seed, and yeah, as many runners have already in this one, it's quite difficult and very, very strange. So yeah, definitely respect that decision. In this preliminary, the runners have to complete at least 5 preliminaries, so it is quite okay to forfeit and then try a different one.
Yeah, indeed. We have, as you mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast, we've got almost 2 weeks left of preliminaries to go before we start the bracket. We'll have our last preliminary race on August 1st, and then we'll go straight into bracket races.
All right, let's pull in Romulus for an interview then.
Yeah, hey Romulus, that was quite a seed. How are you feeling?
Oh my gosh, that was pure garbage.
I
Yeah.
can't say that we disagree with you. So, you said before we started that you were really looking forward to seeing Bash, Dash, Grenade, those sorts of
Yeah.
things. How were you feeling when you got Bash that early?
Ooh, I was pretty excited about getting Bash early. Bash is a pretty strong ability, but unfortunately with this seed, since we only saw it with Climb and Wall Jump, there was, as you could tell by the way I routed, there was not really a lot of safe paths to take, and that's why I was dying quite a bit. So, yeah, not seeing many skills after those few really did kind of bum me out, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that was just a very starved seed. Even the skills that we did see were very far out of the way.
I am curious as to what Fluffy found and where progression was supposed to be that I missed. You guys know?
But what's fascinating is we're not quite sure, but we're gonna have Aiko jump in here just a moment to explain the expert, or not the expert, give us his expert opinion on what the logic was. So let's actually drag him in. I think he'll let us know far better than what we can explain.
Yeah, we'll be joined here by Aiko, and she'll let us know what exactly the randomizer expected of our players today.
Okay, so, first of all, I'm very sorry. It's actually not my fault, Sigma's. Second of all, fascinating little thing. Truck actually did call this out at one point, the Wilhelm EXP. The Wilhelm EXP is in Logic and Standard, Standard Lure with Wall Jump and Bash. You can just sort of attack the bird a few times, bring him over into that little corner, and bash up once, and then when you're on like the first wall, you can shoot him again because he's still in range, and he'll come up to you, and you just bash off him again. You can jump over the Wilhelm EXP, and the Wilhelm EXP had charge jump this seed.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
That is
And
You're
of
welcome.
course,
It changed everything.
That of course gives you access into all the pickups in the Ginso tree. It
Yep.
gives you the ability to get several more pickups in the Blackroot Burrows area down toward Valley. That's quite the pickup.
Yeah, some other small gems in here. Lower Ginso Keystone 2, double jump. Ginso Escape Projectile Experience, dash. You really weren't getting anywhere until you got that charge jump, unless you turned in 8 map stones. You know, like some of us did. This is just not a good seed.
Which 8 mapstones is of course exactly what Fluffy did. Turning in that 8th mapstone, finding Glide, and then finding Grenade and Sorrow to go with the stomp that he found at the energy cell in Swamp.
Oh my gosh, that was an abomination.
Yeah, not a great
I feel
seed.
bad for everyone who played.
Sometimes the rando wins. Sometimes the rando wins.
That is very true. Thank you for that bit of explanation for us, Aiko, and you always learn about those gotchas in the worst way.
No problem. Sorry, everybody. Oh wow.
All right. On that note, Athos, what's our next preliminary for our fascinated watchers who are hoping for something a little faster?
Yeah, so we're gonna have our 7th preliminary. It's gonna be Covert Muffin versus Sirius. You do not want to miss that. I believe that is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Is that correct?
Yeah, 9 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central European Standard Time, right here on SpeedGaming Network. We don't know which channel it'll be, so keep your eyes open.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, Muffin and Sirius are some of the strongest players in our randomizer. It's going to be super exciting. Hopefully we get a faster seed this time, and yeah, it's going to be speedy. We're going to see some super high-level play, and I'm really excited for that matchup.
All right, and we will see you all then. Have a good night, everyone.